Hey guys, good morning, Creator Mom. So I felt like a little reminder came to me about kind of how to overcome, things with a narcissistic person or a narcissistic relationship, um, say with a parent, right? So basically, the idea is you have to kind of get away from them physically. And if you can, I think that even Jay Reed, the psychotherapist, promotes physically separating from them, like going no contact. Really, that would be ideal. And then, so secondly, that you can start to work on yourself internally, because the idea is that if you stay close with the narcissistic person, that it's going to be very difficult for you to do an internal work and an internal shift, because really the internal work is to find yourself. In my opinion, these are my words now, but like to find yourself and to gain confidence within yourself and to understand yourself, know yourself. And in the midst of the narcissistic person, you can't really do that, because with them, being around them, it's just like all you can really do is like disregard yourself, like, because you have to pay attention to them really, and they kind of suck your energy out where they need to feel boosted and superior. So a lot of energy is going towards like paying attention to them and uplifting them, um and basically them slamming down your ideas and who you are. At least that's the way it is with me and the narcissistic parent. um you, you are not really allowed to be yourself, because because um because you're offensive. You threaten. I was watching Dr. Amani really quick last night, and it's just like it was a reminder that like you threatened their inferiority complex, like, and they don't even really realize that they feel inferior. But it's like how she explained it was like they have this deep feeling of worthlessness inside of them, like this program running, and they're fighting. And when they're fighting and they're putting you down, really, they're fighting against their own fucking program, and they're fighting against this feeling that's arising deep within them. Um, so this is why it's better to get away from the narcissistic person, because they don't really have like self-reflection at this point. They're not, you know what I'm saying? So it's like they're doing this thing as a mechanism to like protect themselves in a way, and they're probably not going to stop. So we have to separate ourselves and then prepare ourselves, know ourselves, shit like that. So yeah, that's the only way to, because I always came back to this idea that like, oh, I wish I could be around the narcissistic person and take their hits and like water off a duck's back, like, you know what I'm saying, like just have no emotional reaction and just be fine with it, like. And I don't know, excuse me, I don't know why that became a picture of success or overcoming with this person, but I don't think that is, I don't know if that's necessarily a healthy goal. And then I was reminded that really the goal, if I want that, or you know what I'm saying, I think that in order to be around a narcissistic person and have the water, like when they accuse you or fucking tear you down, and for that to like roll off your back, would be like to be fully confident in who you are, be fully confident in yourself. And I think that that's the only way where like joy really comes out. Where you can look at them and just like giggle and like walk away, like whatever, but so that I think that is really like the only answer to become fully confident in who we are, and always comes back to us, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to sit here and say, like, there's this idea in the manifestation world that everyone is you pushed out. And I've heard people explain it, that which to me it seems like they're saying that people's behaviors are due to your expectations of their behavior, but it's just like, I don't know, like if you grew up with somebody who behaved a certain way, they like made that fucking imprint like on your mind, right? Like I would say that you could have been set up to be with people like that narcissistic parent. But I wouldn't go as far to say like that your expectations of a person made them narcissistic. I would say that, yeah, you maybe manifested having that partner in your life and that person, and that when you change your self-concept and you change yourself and become more aware and self-confident within who you are and repair from the dysfunctional ways, that then you can begin to feel to maybe attract or have a healthy relationship with somebody else who is not narcissistic. So, yeah, I don't know about this thing about causing certain people's behaviors. It just doesn't sit right with me, because I don't know. I believe that people, for the most part, have their own personalities. And I feel like I especially saw that with my kids. Like having children, I feel like made me realize that people are really born like who they are. Like they are born with personalities. And that gets into a whole nother fucking can of worms. Like, are people born serial killers and shit like that? Like nature versus nurture type shit. And then you get to this point where you're like, well, how can we really know? We live in the world of illusions, But I don't know. To me, in my illusion and my perspective, I saw and I feel like I witnessed that people are born who they are, like their spirits. You know what I'm saying? You're basically getting to know somebody. You think you're teaching somebody, like my friend Karen said, you got to guide the missile. Yeah, it's like you gave birth to a missile and you're just guiding it. You think like you're shaping the person's personality. Like they're born a whole fucking person. I'll tell you that. And, things are learned and things like that, but for the most part, their essence, the way I don't know how else to describe it, but their essence, like, one of my kids does this thing, like when he was little, he always just did this thing where he swung his foot. I even have a video. I'm like, oh, the swinging foot. And to this day, he still does this motion with his foot since he was like a baby. Since he was sitting like the bumbo chair, like 6 months old. I don't know. Like, since an infant, he did this motion with his foot or leg, and he still does it, and being 10 years later. So there is some, there's a whole person in there. Anyways, let's get fully confident in who we are. Let's get to know ourselves. Let's stop disregarding ourselves. Let's acknowledge what we have done. Acknowledge our strengths, which you couldn't really do around the narcissistic person because everything was criticized. Everything was criticized and put down. But no more, bitches.